Part is over. Does anyone want to share what's happening at your school? What are some things that you're excited about? What have you been working on? Anything that could benefit the rest of us by hearing? We've heard from Len Benton, we've heard from Rogue, we've heard from the panel, but what else is happening? Do you have any tips, tricks, ideas?
Requests for prayer other than the House Bill 2998, folks? Everybody's like, it's really nice outside. I want to go home. I know how this works.
So at Southwestern Oregon Community College, we're having a big discussion about validity and reliability. And if we're trying to collect data and then use that data to inform our teaching and then subsequently change our teaching, we're really concerned that the data actually means something so that we don't make changes that could end up being detrimental. So we're having a big discussion about how we can find measurement tools that are valid and how we can make sure that the data that we're generating is reliable. So one thing that we've been discussing is using the value rubrics that are designed by the AACU or in collaboration as tools that have been validated. That there are lots of studies that have verified the validity of these, or at least face validity and some expert content validity. So that's kind of the path that we're looking at now, is now that we've mapped our outcomes, our course outcomes and our program outcomes and our institutional outcomes, and we're looking at our assignments and we're really getting ready to generate this data, we're really concerned that the data is meaningful. So that's kind of the point that we're at.
Anyone else? Anyone else using those value rubrics in a similar manner or in another way? Do you want to talk about it?
You want to give it?
Yeah, like I said before, we're assessing our institutional core learning outcomes at 1 or 2 a year using the value rubrics, and we ask faculty who have mapped to those outcomes, say that they teach it in depth or significantly in their class. We ask them if they have assignments that could be used in conjunction with the value rubric. We have a team that looks at the value rubric at the beginning of it, and we modify it a little bit, or I think we took one as is, but most time we modify them somewhat. And then at the end of the year, throughout the year, we collect that data from their assignments, and they turn that in, and then we combine that all together, and then the next fall we came together and we gave them the results of that data, and we have a core learning assessment team that looks at the data and comes to a decision on what are maybe the areas that we should focus on. So we pick like 2 dimensions off the rubric and say, these are the 2 dimensions that we want as an institution to work on over the next few years until that rubric comes up again and we're assessing that outcome again. And we bring the faculty together and we give them the information, and then we ask them to discuss what sort of strategies that could be used in the classroom to emphasize those specific skills off the rubric, not the whole package, but just the specific 1 or 2 dimensions. And we get that for each one, and then that's reinforced in their course assessment over the year. We have a question on their annual course assessment that asks them what they're doing towards helping towards our goal to assess the communication or to reinforce the communication dimensions, right? So currently we have 2 going. We have the communication and the problem-solving critical thinking going. And they write back and tell us, we've been doing these sort of assignments. We don't ask them to assess it necessarily, we just say what they're doing towards it, and that we'll assess it again, like I said, in 3 to 5 years. I think that's the gist of how we use ACU rubrics. Yeah, so it grows into a professional development. I think the next step would be really great is if then we actually tie it to professional development and those dimensions become professional development opportunities that we identify.
Well, I have to say I really appreciate hearing that because we've just formed an assessment committee, and 3 of the members are here along with me. And one of our tasks is to figure out how do we now go across campus and start looking at our institutional outcomes campus-wide, not just in instruction. And the idea of taking one a year and having like a campus campaign about how are we doing this at every area seems like a nice, manageable way to approach those and have everybody looking at the same thing and talking about the same thing and really focused in on one area. So that seems like a really exciting model that I'm hoping to be able to talk to the rest of the committee about next week. Anyone else? Anything at all? All right, then.
All right. Next world peace. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. So thank you, everybody, for coming today. I really appreciate this. I have just 2 simple requests for you. One is there's an evaluation that was part of the materials that you picked up this morning. If you kind of blew by it, there's still some sitting out on the counter. If you would please fill that out, and there's a little spot out there that says leave your evaluations here. Please just dump them in there. And one question that the planning committee asked me to have you write about on the back is, what is your team's next steps? Deer in the headlights. It's okay. These are anonymous. So if you would please do that. The second thing that I would ask of you is there's another little plastic container next to the evaluation spot where you could put your name tags. So please recycle your name tags as you're on your way out. I would appreciate that. And again, once this link is available, I will send that out to all of you. I will send out the materials to everybody who is part of this. Please share them as widely as you'd like. They will be posted on the Student Success Center webpage. We'll have all of the different event pieces, the materials, and everything will be there. But until that point happens, feel free to circulate them to whomever you'd like through email. So again, thank you for coming. Thank you to the planning team, and thank you all for coming.